scholarship recipient. Um, so the second task I have today is to recognize Lauren Cohn, who will be receiving the Environmental Scholarship Award for the 25-26 school year. Come on up, Lauren. Thank you. Lauren is one of 4 applicants that we had this year. We had 2 from Virginia Tech, and we had 2 from Hollins University. All of them were well qualified, but Lauren was a unanimous choice of our selection committee. First, I want to also give recognition to Rupert Cutler and Mike McAvoy, who served with me on the scholarship committee, doing the planning, promoting, contact, and all the vaccine work. And then I also want to thank 3 other individuals who joined us in the scholarship selection committee: Courtney Plaster, who was chair of our environmental committee this year; Pete Irvin, who was unable to be with us today; and Bert Boyd, who is here with us today. I want to thank all of you all for your participation in this. So Lauren, I'll give you a very brief background, then I'll let her introduce herself and tell us what she plans to do going forward. You really have to keep this thing right on your mouth, which is very annoying. Lauren was born and raised right here in Roanoke. She attended Hidden Valley High School, and she, as was stated, I think she is currently a junior at Virginia Tech, or I guess you've just finished your sophomore year. So she's a rising junior at Virginia Tech, and she is what I think is called their green environmental program. Is that ecological program? And so she is going to be continuing at Virginia Tech, and these funds will help to support her in furthering her education there. So please join me in congratulating and recognizing Lauren, and I'll ask her to say a few words about herself and what she plans to do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren, and as was just stated, I've just finished up my sophomore year at Virginia Tech. I'm majoring in ecological engineering, and I also have a double minor in green engineering and environmental science as well. I have really enjoyed my time at Virginia Tech so far. These past 2 years have been absolutely incredible. There are so many opportunities at Virginia Tech for volunteering, especially in ecological ways. I've recently spent some time cleaning up the duck pond at Virginia Tech, pulling hundreds of bottles and cans out of the river. And actually, the first experience I ever had with volunteering like that was with the Kiwanis Club. It was about 4 years ago. I was a part of the Kiwanis Club at Hidden Valley High School, and we volunteered one day with this Kiwanis Club. It's there. So cleaning up the environment has become a huge passion of mine, and I am so grateful for this scholarship opportunity today. So thank you to the Kiwanis Club for your generosity. I really look forward to continuing my education at Virginia Tech with this. Thank you.
So as efficiently as possible, we're going to create a few picture scenes so we can get a few photographs to memorialize this. Do we have your? Okay, Rupert, do you want to come up? No. Okay. Tim and Lisa, you're here with Lauren. Would you like to come up and share in this picture? I guess the first picture I'll do is with me, and I'll present the scholarship award. As I told Lauren, this is not really a check. It's a copy of a check. The check is going to go to Tech for her benefit, but she understands that. So here's your. Now, do you want to come up, Tim? Perfect. All right. Finally, I'm going to ask Emma if she will stand up and join us as well. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, congratulations to both of you, and thank you so much for being here, everybody.
There's some pretty impressive girls, aren't they? Woo! Congratulations. Now we have some announcements. First, we have book club tonight at 5:30 at Melrose Library. That's a new location and time. 5:30 Melrose Library, the book club tonight. We have membership committee meets next Wednesday after the program. And we have the wine social sign up. Andre, would you like to say a few things?
Thank you. What I have to say is it's time for some fun. We talk about all the work we do and the wonderful things we do in the community. We should be tired, but we're not. We're ready for some fun. And the Fun Committee has put together a social at Stony Brook Winery, June 28th. That's a Saturday. It's from 1 to 5. Will be a barbecue lunch with all the trimmings: baked beans, coleslaw, macaroni and cheese, chips, and of course there'll be Kiwanis cookies for dessert. You purchase your own wine from the winery, and we'll have some water, lemonade, or whatever if you don't want wine. We're going to enjoy the music of Mark Forks. He I think people wanted to really hear the music last year. So you'll need to bring your own chair. And if you have a pop-up, bring that, because we're going to be putting pop-ups in that field so that we have some shade. The cost, I forgot what the cost is. The cost is $15 per person. It's the same caterer we used last year for our barbecue at Stony Brook. So I hope you all plan to come and celebrate all the hard work we do by having some fun at Stony Brook.
Thank you, Andre. Now we have time for brag bucks. I know Ken Briggs wanted to do one, and anyone else who would like to do one, please come forward.
Thank you, President-elect Joyce. Here a reminder of our Bridge Builder baseball outing, which will be Saturday evening, June 21st. You should have a flyer on your table. We've got a good number of Kiwanians who are going to be there. It's a little different. As a club, we've been to the baseball game a few times, but I don't think we've ever taken advantage of the picnic. The Red Sox provide all our food for a 2-hour buffet of hamburgers and hot dogs and so on. I talked to the Red Sox this morning. I said, what is the price of reserve ticket? And they said it's $17. So for an extra $14, you get all your food and you don't have to stand in line. So let me know if you'd like to go. J.C. Taylor set to throw out our first pitch, and that should be worth something. Thank you.
So good afternoon, Kiwanians. On the 11th of June, 1949, at Baptist Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky, Reeve Kessler was born. So today is indeed my 76th birthday. Now, I have been called a variety of things over the last 76 years, some of which I've heard and some of which I fortunately have not heard, I suppose. But my boys will both testify that one thing I am is a relatively tough grader. I've had the privilege to be involved in a variety of organizations over the course of my life, and I have yet to find a perfect one. That being said, I do think that this Kiwanis Club does a very good job of doing what it does. That is, to make things better for the citizens of the Roanoke Valley. I'd like to see that work continue in the short term and the long term, and therefore I'm making this birthday generated contribution to the foundation. Now, I'll say, like I say every year when I do this, there was a whole long list of June birthdays that Joyce just read off. Maybe Steve is up here to join me in making a contribution. I don't see Ben getting out of his chair, however. If everybody, if all of those June birthdays contributed $50 and the average, sure, I've got my wallet here. But if every June birthday would donate, say $50, and the average is clearly above that, then at the end of the month, that would be another $1,000 in the foundation. And if every month birthday celebrants did that, at the end of the year, it would be like $12,000 or $15,000 more in the endowment. So I would consider that to be money well spent, and I urge you to participate in this habit.
Lots of time for all these birthday party folks to come up. Fellow Kiwanians and guests, I'm Courtney Plaster and with Clean Valley Council, and I'm very excited to share that my senior has graduated from Franklin County High School. Yes, the legendary class of 2025, for those of you that pay attention to the news posts. We're very excited. Her name is Zoe Isabella Plaster, and she's going to be attending Randolph-Macon College in Ashland and pursuing a degree in archaeology. So I'm very excited to share that. And so before I became a Kiwanian, my daughter, Eve Plaster, also graduated from Franklin County High School. And if the word got out that I said something wonderful about my youngest and didn't speak about my oldest, I'd get in a lot of trouble as a mother. So I'm very proud to say that Eve Plaster is a junior at VCU and will be a rising senior next year. So very excited to say. Also, on your tables, there is a small quarter-page flyer, and Clean Valley Council will be hosting our Rethink, Reuse, Repair Fair, and it will be held in Wasena Park on the 21st of June. And so in the spirit of rethinking, reusing, and repairing, you all can attend for free and engage with fellow members of the community that can repair things, help you rethink what to do with your waste before throwing it in the trash. There's always something to do with an object. Rethink it before it hits the trash can. So I encourage each one of you to take a look at our website, attend in person. The event is again in Wasena Park from 10 until 3 on the 21st of June. So please join us with Clean Valley Council there that day. Love to see each one of you. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you, Mr. Wilson, for inviting me today. I didn't know lunch was included, so that's definitely a treat. Thank you so much. I'm here to talk to you about a tennis tournament. Well, before I go, the director of tennis at Hidden Valley Country Club. This is my my third year, and my third year running the Hidden Valley Open. So tennis is one of those sports where we know who the best are. We know Roger Federer, we know Coco Gauff, but we don't know that there are thousands of players who are trying to make it. And unfortunately, only about 150 players on the men's side and the women's side get to make it, financially speaking. So what I'm trying to do is give local players, college players, and people who want to try professional tennis an opportunity for them to compete. Like I said, we're hosting our third Hidden Valley Open, and it's at the end of end of the month, and hopefully we can see some of you all there. This year, we partnered with Team Luke Hope for Minds. There's a handout on your tables, and unfortunately, it's a little bit of a sad story about my friend's son, who unfortunately lost his life a couple of years ago due to brain injury suffered in a golf cart accident. So we are, like I said, we're partnering with them and trying to raise money for his organization, which is called Team Luke Hope for Minds. They help not only kids but people with brain injuries. So with that being said, thank you again for having me here, and I hope you consider donation.
Lee Osborne again. I will be brief. I did want to note I made a brag buck contribution for your shout out to UGA. You know, next time you'll have to do that yourself. I'll piggyback on what was said earlier about the Kiwanis Foundation and the birthday contributions. And I'm going to tell you that we're going to be sending out a letter in the next couple of weeks to everyone announcing that we're doing a mid-year drive as we did last year. And just wanted to give everybody a heads up, be looking for that. You can go ahead and, if you decide to make a brag buck, as was suggested, you can go ahead and have that count towards this mid-year campaign. To reiterate the appeal that was made to support your foundation, and that there are many ways to do that, but certainly the brag bucks is a good way to do that. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mike Bell. As treasurer of our foundation and someone who has a June birthday, I guess I'm required now to come up here after that gentle arm twisting by Reef. So I've got a $58 brag for the birthday I just celebrated on Sunday.
Hi, I'm Guy Bird. Just a reminder today that next week, June 20th, which is a Friday, where the Adult Care Center is having its first evening of jazz at the Five Points Music Sanctuary. And if you can come, we'd love for you to do so. It'll be a benefit, of course, for the Adult Care Center. And there's going to be good music, a full bar inside the building, and a food truck on the outside. So if you can come, we'd love to see you. Thank you.
All of you have worked with John Montgomery before, but he is the detail man, and I can't repeat everything we've been talking about, but it's really funny. I want to remind Reef that I never come to these meetings unprepared. I always keep a couple $100 bills in my wallet just in case someone like you thinks he can embarrass me. Okay. Okay, I want to brag on the Berglund Center. Okay. This past Saturday evening, one of my birthday treats turned 75 on Saturday, was to go to the Nate Bargatze concert at the Civic Center, which was almost sold out. How many of you have ever heard of Nate Bargatze? Well, see, I thought I was the only one in Roanoke who knew who he was, but by the time the traffic jam finished up on 581 and on Williamson Road, we still got there on time. The sound was perfect. Everybody was nice. It was a great venue, thanks to the Berglund Center. Thank you.
Thank you for all those brag bucks. And now everyone knows $50 on your birthday. No excuses. Ben. Checks in the mail. Okay, got it. Now it's time for our program. So I'd like to introduce Joyce Montgomery. both sides of the table? I am. Okay. 2025 KPAD. Hello, everyone. Before I dive into details, I truly want to acknowledge and to thank the incredible effort and dedication that this club poured into making KPAD a success. From the early morning 7:30 planning stages to the last pancake flip, or should I say, when the trailer door closed, everyone contributed to making this KPAD a resounding success. For that, I truly thank you. Cannot do it without the team effort that we have here at Kiwanis. Yeah. So one of the things we learned this year was how to be flexible, how to make lemonade out of lemons, how to zig and zag and stay on track. We regrouped, and carried on with the support of the Berglund Center. It's just center, isn't it? Berglund Center. So we could not have done that without our club, without our action club, without our key clubbers for sure. We would have been very tight without the great key clubbers who helped us. A lot of black shirts running around that were also willing and happy to help us. So for Action Club, Kiwanis Club, and the key clubbers, we want to thank all of you. Yeah. And then we had our sponsors to ensure our success. We had Haley Toyota, who has been with us probably a century, supporting us in this endeavor. For $5,000, they have donated to us. We have Serpro, who has come into with us this year for $2,000, and I would like for Jason Poff to come up. We want to give you this. Thank you for being a great contributor and supporter of KPAD. Thank you, Jason. We had Fox Radio, who donated to us his time, and we had Gene, who did PSAs for his radio station that he played for us that was worth about $5,000. So I don't believe David is here, is he? No. So we also have a plaque for David that we will get to him. I have on your tape. This is our placemat that we had this year. So you can see all the people that helped us, supported us to make this a successful KPAD. We made it so you could fold it and we could put it in the to-go bags this year to help spread the word as well. Smart people sitting at that table over there. So we also have our John Bradshaw Award, the unsung hero. If we ever had one, this year we did. Some of you know we had some confusion at the Berglund Center, and so we had to do a little twisting around and doing things a little different than we have done. But our person who was assigned to us was Kate Chase. He was definitely our unsung hero. He stayed with us. He worked with us. He even spent the night there working for us because they had rented the space and we couldn't get into the room on Friday. So after the graduation that was there, they had to set up for us and they worked all night, all night. She was still there when the first of us got back at 5 in the morning, but they had it set up and ready to go. You would have not known what happened behind the scenes. And that's what an unsung hero is. Someone who doesn't need someone to point them out, but someone who enabled us to have a success, even though we had made lemonade out of. So, Kate, would you please come up? Kate is the senior event manager for Berglund Center. Here. Now, I would like for you to face and watch our video and see who all you can see. Cross your fingers. we owe this great video to Eric Danielson. He took it, he edited it, and we thank you. Very good. 2025 KPAD. Yoo-hoo. Now, let's get down to finances. What did we do? Well, my superhero friend is in a conference today. So I thought, who could possibly do her job? Who's going to report the numbers? How about the number man, John Montgomery?
Thank you, Madam President-elect. I'm not sure what has me more baffled, that she began to introduce her superhero friend and it was not me, or that we have an unsung hero named after John Bradshaw. You just never know what's coming up next. Well, we want to get to the bottom line, and there's some good numbers to report. One thing you may want to know right offhand is what our ticket sales were by the members. That's a big part of the bottom line. Let's see, we have a graphic up there. Is that right, Alex? Well, I'm going to build to the top salesperson, which is showing there. I'm going to tell you beforehand that our total sales by all members were $47,003.50. I think Ben Spiker has something to do with the $3.50. No wonder he couldn't do a brag for his birthday. He shot it all on KPAD. $47,003.50 is a tremendous total. In fact, I just did some quick arithmetic on the calculator. $321 per member. That's pretty outstanding for all of our members, all told, to average $321. That's a pretty good team effort. Hats off to all of them. Let's talk about the teams. And by the way, I've been involved in all 30 of the KPADs too. I was not a member on the first one. I came as a paying customer. I bought at the gate at Towers Mall and was so hooked on it that when I was asked to join about 6 months later, I did and have been a Kiwanian for the 29 cents. But when I saw that we had a lot of new blood as team captains, I thought, well, that's a double-edged sword. It's really good to have that kind of energy. But at the same time, we're missing some of the veterans, of the people that know the ropes, having been here in all of them and experienced in knowing the membership. How will these new captains do in terms of drafting teams and motivating people? They'd be talking to people they didn't even know that well. How would that work out? It worked out pretty darn good. It just goes to show you that new blood has a lot of positive effects. Some of the people who've been around here that think they know everything don't. Our new captains did a tremendous job. And I'm going to introduce the captains. Is that right? I'm pinch hitting for Lois today, so I'm sort of checking to make sure I'm doing the right things. The captains and their respective totals, we're not going to show you the numbers, but I just have to sort of bear with me as I call them out. Kevin Holt with the LG&M team. Would you stand, Kevin? Your team did 6,313. Kevin is back in the club in the last year and been in the club 25 years ago, and he certainly did a fine job. What was really impressive is that two people from his firm were team captains. They have a corporate membership, and Gentry Locke had two team captains. That's extraordinary. The other team captain, who's not here today, is Hugh Brown, a cohort at Gentry Locke. Hugh's team did 7,041. I don't believe Hugh's here, is he, Joyce? But stay standing, Kevin, as I call all the other captains. The Chargers, led by Bert Boyd. Bert, you're here. What a great example you set. $7,252. The Terminators, led by Jay Galden, 7,913. Jay? Jay, you've been in the club about a year yourself, right? Bert, you're a veteran. You've been in 2.5, I guess. I mean, you're sort of showing these rookies how to do things, right? Yeah. Let's see. We have Ben Spiker. we know 50 cents is the last part of it. $8,570.50. And our number one team, the legendary Transformers, led by Chris Rouse, 9,914. A big hand for all the captains. It was tremendous. You guys worked. You know what I thought was really extraordinary is that it was very competitive. Everyone worked hard, but it was the way a team should be. And it's the reason I like sports really is because I like teams, and you guys were a team. As here comes one of our team players right there, Donna. You're a team player. Good job, captains. Total $47,003.50. That's one of the best totals we've ever had. Not quite the best, but within shouting distance of it. Pretty strong. And we had, I told you, $321 average. We had a lot of people that had impressive totals, but in the interest of time, I just was going to give you the people that exceeded $1,000. At one time, 1,000 would have placed you number one in the club. Now you make the top 10. That says something. It's not to denigrate anyone who had $700, $800, $900. A lot of wonderful figures there. The people that were over in four figures, and those that are here stand. Sheila Umberger, $1,000. Joe Lemmer is here, $1,000. You know, I got to say, and this is unscripted, off the cuff, but I think about Joe Lemmer coming to a pancake. We sold him a raffle ticket. You remember that, Sherry? And he ended up winning the raffle, which was a flight over Roanoke. He said it was a pretty good club. He joined, and now he's paying back. So that's great, Joe. Relatively new member, Jay Golden, $1,050. Yeah, he's a new member as well, and gosh, he turned in $1,050 the first week. Isn't that right, Jay? You really set the bar high and inspired your team. A veteran of, I understand, 15 K-pads, I just learned on the video. Andy Stone, $1,070. That's pretty much standard fare for Mr. Stone. He's always in that range. And someone that shouldn't be forgotten and isn't for lots of reasons, Amy Carter, $1,180. That's pretty good. Bert Boyd, who seems to be everywhere, $1,314, Bert. Now, somebody who ranks high on the all-time list, has been part of the club over 20 years, and is always in this range, Mike Loveman, $1,421. Mike and I often have breakfast together, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty much expecting him to have a check for K-Pad when we have breakfast, and I look forward to many more of those, Mike, so, for lots of reasons. Number 3, J.C. Taylor, $1,500. I think J.C.'s not here. J.C. is either selling a house or selling pancake tickets right now, I would say. Is that what he said? That's what he's doing. This person was on the, what did they call it? The DL 6 months ago, but he kind of rebounded in a hurry. Eric Danielson, $1,837. And I imagine some of those were sold from a hospital bed, Eric. That's the way you. And what a great video. That he's responsible for that too. Thank you, Eric. Well, surprise, surprise. This must be a new member. I think it's introduced as a guest. Our number one salesperson for the how many years in a row? Quite a few. Rupert Cutler, $3,300. Rupert's done it all in the club in lots of ways, but what an inspiration to all of us. Living proof that you can be somebody who has been around a block a time or two and still setting the bar so high, Rupert. We're really inspired by. I was proud to come through the ranks of the officers in the club. Rupert was the president when I was vice president. We worked closely then, we work closely now, and I still learn from you every day. Thank you, my friend. Okay, the last thing I want to say about sales before I turn it back to President-elect Joyce. Total revenue from all sources. You'll be interested in that. We had a lot of money come from different ways. We didn't have the yard sale. We didn't have an actual auction, but Mike McAvoy has helped us procure a star sponsor. We'll be hearing more about during the summer. We have 5,000 coming from that. We had good sales online. We actually had more people buy tickets online this year than bought them at the door. In fact, I was impressed that some people were savvy enough to buy them in the parking lot online and save $3 and then come in and show me their ticket. So that's obviously a trend of the future, people being online. So we did well from a number of other sources. The total was 61,000, give or take a little change. And we now have all of our expenses and doing a rough estimate of those. Some of those have just come in the last few hours. It looks like with all expenses, and some of our expenses were down, which was nice to see. Key Club was not down. It was a nice expense to have, and that's because we reward the Key Clubbers at $7 per hour. We had about 50% more Key Clubbers, which increased that labor cost, but what a nice cost to incur. Those that have done scholarships today and 2 years ago realize that we like to give the money away, and it's numbers like this that allow us to give scholarships, not only to college students, but also to the high school. It allows us to fund all the projects and all the grants that we do during the year. The bottom line, we're turning into the service budget for next year, $44,700. Great job, everybody.
And we also have the Billy Vincent Award that always goes to our top salesperson, which again is Rupert Cutler. I will fly to you. Now I would like to ask Eric Danielson if he would come up. He has a little award.
So it was a really super duper good K-Pad. 30 years of them. They're all fun. They're all different. This year we have an award to give out for Rookie of the Year. We don't always give a Rookie of the Year. This year there were several rookies. Several of them are here. But this one went to Chris Rouse, who took over the pancake tent. First year, has never seen Pancake Day before, and he runs the pancake tent. He ran it like a champ, and this is to keep him doing it again next year. For the photographer. Remember, you want Thank you very much.
So that kind of wraps up our KPAD for 2025. We've had fun, just like we've had fun here today. All for a good cause, all to help our community. And again, I thank you. But before we stop, I just want to remind you that we still have in August the star dedication that we will be working on that is sponsored by Roanoke Gas. So you'll be hearing a lot more in the coming weeks about that event. So, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Uh, great job, Joyce. Next week, our program will be Haywood Fralin Biomedic Research Institute, introduced by Bert Boyd. Thank you.